I'm Svetlana Papazov, and what energizes me, what gives me joy when I get out of bed in the morning, is to help people pursue their spiritual quest to find who God is in their life, and to also realize how they can worship Him through the entire day, the entire week, in everything that they do. Michael and I come from a communist background. We came from Bulgaria. We left this country only a couple of months before the regime completely collapsed. When we came here, we realized that cultural Christianity has nothing on the Christian faith that the persecuted believers in Bulgaria were living through. And Michael and I are quite happy that that is our background. We have not forgotten it. We often go back to those roots because we had to practice real faith in real God, in real Christianity. And so we thought that it's very appropriate to name our church Real Life, because what we have decided to do, and some people call it actually an inside-out church, Monday through Saturday, we function in the community, worshiping God by supporting businesses, incubating entrepreneurs that have beautiful thoughts, creative thoughts, and then we take them on a journey to create a business that can grow both the economy locally, their personal finances, grow them as leaders, and to begin to influence our city and our state.
Did you ever had to lean into something that you didn't feel comfortable with? I have. Every day. I love being an American, but I don't like being first-generation citizen, because my accent sets me apart, and I so wanted to blend in. I came for the melting pot, but I was just a little bit too large of a chunk to melt. I made a new friend last year. His name is Jeremiah. He came to Real Life, and when he first walked through our doors, Jeremiah wasn't very eager to lean into things he wasn't familiar with. See, Jeremiah came to Real Life Church, but not to a Sunday morning worship, but to a Monday morning kidpreneur camp. This is our camp where we take young kids and work with them to unleash the entrepreneur inside. And do you know what? All of us have an entrepreneur inside. It just takes somebody to come alongside us to unleash it so we can begin to dream, create, and contribute. Dr. Douglas Melton from the Current Family Foundation says this: a person with an entrepreneurial mindset is an agent of change and designs the world of tomorrow. We think at Real Life Church that the church must have an entrepreneurial mindset, so we become the agent of change in our culture. So as we go out, we can begin to unleash the entrepreneurial mindset so our cities can be loved well. Because could it be that our neighborly love actually has an economic aspect? So can I ask you today to just lean in with me into something that might be new and different and a bit uncomfortable? To think about a model of an entrepreneurial church. God called my husband and I a year and a half ago, to flourish our city by flourishing its economy. So if we enter their gates, they may enter ours. And what we have experienced is that as we begin to seek and flourish the economy, we have seen in a very short amount of time an amazing enter in they did. And on the basis of what we have experienced, I want to share with you 3 priorities that I believe an entrepreneurial church is built around. The first one is an entrepreneurial church fosters next generation creativity. We cannot think about building a strong country, growing a happening church, if our next generation doesn't dream with us and move along where we want to go. So what we do at Real Life Church, we have set up those camps throughout the year where we bring kids at the ages of 5, but I'll tell you what, we have parents that actually bring their kids that you just saw on those monitors at the ages of 2 and 3. And they can dream and create. And at that age, there is no restriction. Nobody told them yet they cannot be imagining things that they can start in the future. And we call that a kidpreneur. We unleash the imagination of young kids. And we tell them they can continue to dream for the rest of their lives. And we help them reverse engineer their dreams into actual, real projects that they can birth as a business. For example, Chloe and Zoe, after finishing our Kidpreneur and Teenpreneur camp, launched their own business. They're yet not 13. But they launched their Knicks and Knacks with goods that are particularly tailored to preteens and teens. Not only did they begin to dream, not only did they create, but now they have begun to contribute to their own local economy. Could it be that we can love our cities well by unleashing human potential so people can begin to dream, and in a redeemed relationship with Christ, we can begin to co-create the Jeremiah 29 futures with Him? Barna says this: in the age bracket of 5 to 13, the kids are most receptive to the gospel message. After that, the likelihood for them to turn and enter into the faith diminishes drastically. Just want to ask you, are we ready to engage our culture at the seedbed of culture formation? And that's our economy, because it really reaches into the pocket of everyone, and people pay attention if we can touch the pocket. But what if we can begin to teach the next generation that every business they can dream about, every work that they can do has a social and economic aspect? And what if they can be spurred to a spiritual awakening where the soul of the city can be rebirthed as they are birthing new businesses? Could it be that we are called in 21st century, which some call it a postmodern time, a post-Christendom time, where everything is relevant, truth is yours, but don't tell it to me? Could it be that as we engage our neighborhoods and we enter into their gates, they will begin to enter ours? In the second place, an entrepreneurial church integrates faithful work in the economy. At Real Life, what we do, we have a small building which is just about 3,000 square foot. And I know for most of you, you would be asking me how we can really do services in only 3,000 square foot. Not only that we do services on Sunday morning, but we actually do kidpreneur and teenpreneur and adultpreneur camps, meaning we bring kids and adults and teach entrepreneurship to unleash the entrepreneurial mindset throughout the entire week. And not only that we found a place to do services and camps, but we added workshops. And we also found place for some private offices, because we thought, if we are only using this building on Sunday morning for worship, and here and there on a Wednesday night for a Bible study, I don't know how many of you still go to a Bible study on Wednesday night, but we thought a 3,000 square building, a 3,000 square foot, would stay dormant for most of the week if we do not find a way to give it away. So what we've done is we opened our doors to our offices to vulnerable entrepreneurs which are in this pattern of growth where it's too fast to grow, not enough capacity to sustain the growth. They want to work, and they work out of coffee shops most often. And those don't suffice. And so they're in that tension. And if you're looking at statistics, some would show you that within the first 5 years, 90% of entrepreneurial ventures fail. And a lot of it is for lack of capacity. And so we thought, what if we open our own doors and offer our facility, as little, as small as it is, to the entrepreneurs that are in the city, and we can begin to invite them in. And we specifically lean into the ones that are not Christians. We don't qualify it at the beginning, but we lean into that demographics. Because I'm going to tell you what, if they come around us, and if they stick around enough for our workshops, our real-life masterminds, our business consultation, at the end, they end up walking into our gates on Sunday morning and not just on Monday morning. So entrepreneurial engagement through the week becomes an evangelistic engagement for the eternal future. So we have Raquel that came to us a few months ago that was in that in-between stage with a vulnerable financial situation. And she could only afford so much. So we worked with her on the rent, and we gave her a private office. Raquel now, who is a professional financial advisor, stewards hundreds of thousands of dollars, both for private investors, but also for nonprofits. And she is engaged in our workshops, real-life masterminds. And I'm happy to say she's on a trajectory to meet a creative Christ in her own life. So that is a joy to begin to see individuals that have the propensity of opening themselves and beginning to emerge with an entrepreneurial mindset, welcoming them to continue to dream, create, and contribute. Could your church do just like that? I know you have a lot of square footage that goes unused most of the week. I don't know how many times you go to a Bible study at your facility, but even if it is daily, could it be that in between you can find windows of time when we can bless our neighbors with an entrepreneurial work that they can do right within our own doors? Would it be that they may come back on Sunday and enter your gates then during a worship service? In the third place, an entrepreneurial church facilitates faithful business training. We cannot do any of that if we're not offering a training that unleashes the entrepreneurial mindset. Because when we do that, we add into the culture of our city a business training that comes straight from the pages of the 66 books of the Bible. Because there is so much being said about stewarding well and stewarding it on behalf of blessing our neighbor. Our neighborly love surely has an economic aspect to it. We love our cities well when we unleash human creativity so we can begin to co-create beautiful futures with God. I want to ask you, what are your Jeremiahs? Do you know them? Seek them out. Go find them. Creatively engage them. Begin to prepare them to dream, love, create, and contribute. For in this way, we will be unleashing human potential and flourishing our cities, loving them well with a fruitful labor. Thank you.